also signed an executive order to ban men from playing in women's sports. Three years ago, Payton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Payton's face, causing traumatic brain injury, partially paralyzing her right side, and ending her athletic career.
So that right there is a clip from President Trump's joint address to Congress, his first one as a part of his second term, where he's highlighting the story of a girl called Payton McNabb, who is now 19, but when she was age 17, she was participating in a volleyball game at her particular high school when an opposing teammate, who happened to be a biological male that was competing on the girls' team, spiked a ball so hard it hit her directly in the face, causing partial paralysis, a severe neck injury, and some reports of a traumatic brain injury. Now, of course, this is obviously the absurdity of having biological males compete against females. It's an absolutely tragic story, and I give credit to the Orange Man for highlighting this. In fact, almost all of the different individuals that he pointed out in the crowd, the guests of the administration, were extraordinarily well done, but of course, the left has to react extremely poorly to them. And included in the left reacting so badly to these people is one of our favorites called Emma Vigeland, who decided to tweet out in response to the video of this injury, which is so brutal that I can't show you on this channel. However, it will be linked in the description. Laughing. She thought it was funny. A then 17-year-old girl suffers a severe injury due to the fact that a biological male spiked a volleyball against her face, and Emma Vigeland is laughing at the girl because, you're dumb for getting injured in this particular game. And need I remind you that this is not a story of somebody walking out and refusing to participate because there's a biological male on the opposing team. This is somebody who is engaged in the game despite the risk and suffered the consequences for it. But according to Emma Vigeland, that's absolutely hilarious. Now we're going to get into all this. I'm going to talk about what happened to Payton McNabb, the severity of her injury, Emma Vigeland's comments, and of course, her past comments on this particular issue, which is biological males competing and dominating and injuring females in female sports. But before we do, I want to thank everybody who supports this channel via actualjusticewarrior.com/join.
Give me the money. Give me the money, okay?
It was a shot like she's never seen before. She's never seen anything like it. Payton is here tonight in the gallery, and Payton, from now on, schools will kick the men off the girls' team, or they will lose all federal funding.
Now, the incident that is being referenced at the State of the Union, where Payton McNabb was injured in her game, happened on September 1st, 2022, when Payton was in her junior year at high school, obviously a high school athlete who had her whole future in front of her. Now, of course, the team was quite weary of the oversized male athlete on the female team that was opposing them, and they described that they played defensively the whole game due to the superior height and power that biological males have in these particular sports, the natural advantages that make it completely unfair for them to compete in female sports. And by the way, this is the whole purpose, the whole reason why we have female sports. Male sports is meant to be the most competitive sports. Obviously, anybody who can play at that level should be able to play, male or female. However, female sports are designed specifically to exclude males, men, boys from those sports, because that is the whole intended purpose of them, because there wouldn't be female sports if you just allowed men to compete in them. Everybody seems to understand this on a logical level. However, under the Biden administration and in all these left-wing districts, they like to pretend that there are no differences between male and female. Therefore, we could just socially engineer the sports the way that we want, and in the name of acceptance, we're gonna have all these males dominate the females. Injury risk be damned. Now, McNabb's teammates said that they had to play defensively. Quote, "We had to adjust our whole lineup and put our biggest hitter in the front row, and even with that, we couldn't pass the ball back because he was hitting so hard," she said. "No one could even get a hand on it. It was one of the most powerful spikes that knocked McNabb unconscious for over 30 seconds. toward the end of the game in her junior year. While McNabb was lying on the floor, she was later told by onlookers that her body had twisted into a fencing position, which is indicative of extreme trauma to the brain. My coach's wife kept trying to push my arms and legs down, but they kept coming back up. She had no idea what was happening, McNabb said. Meanwhile, the boy who hit me and the girls on his team were standing on the other side of the net laughing at me. So the irony, of course, of Emma Vigeland laughing at the 17-year-old who suffered a severe injury based on the video of that severe injury is that she's doing exactly what the trans and the teammates of the trans were doing when this girl was viciously hit by this spiked ball and severely injured. Again, absolutely disgusting in every possible way. But let us read on so you can understand what actually happened to this poor girl. Now, a later medical examination revealed that the ball's impact caused neurological impairments, including a concussion, vision problems, and partial paralysis to the right side of her body. The year following her traumatic brain injury, McNabb said, was full of blank spaces that she'll never remember. Now an undergraduate student pursuing a college degree in communications at Western Carolina University, McNabb is focused on her future. She still struggles with neurological issues that make schoolwork much more difficult than before the injury, but as a part of her healing process, she explained that she found a purpose in her suffering. So all because of lefties like Emma Vigeland, who thinks it's perfectly fine to have trans females, aka biological males, compete against women. This girl suffered a severe traumatic brain injury, and she's still dealing with the consequences of this to this very day. And Emma Vigeland has made no bones about it that she doesn't care about competition, fairness, or even safety when it comes to this issue, because the trans ideology trumps all of that. Again, see this clip right here.
Slam Cedar, Emma, there's tons of evidence regarding testosterone levels in height, strength, and speed between people with XX chromosomes and XY chromosomes. Matt's citation off cases about the Olympics is pertinent, but an argument for better planning and more transparent discussions. Your argument is really bad on this, and you're out of your depth. You're correct that trans women should be able to compete in women's sports, but your argument for it is just scientifically and factually incorrect. I'm actually not bad about this. I'm 100% right on this. I don't give a shit about the scientific explanations. People, if they identify as a woman, get to compete in sports. If that's not fair in the short term for a variety of little competitions, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit, because the societal interest of including trans people in society trumps stupid competition. Full stop. So I'm right about this. You're wrong about this. Anyway. Dr. Shock, I agree. Let's get rid of weight classes in all combat sports. Perhaps have grown man compete in Little League. Sometimes life's not fair. Whatever.
So what I love about this clip in particular is that Emma Vigeland is receiving a message not from somebody who's against her position, not from somebody who's correct that biological males should not be allowed to compete with females in female sports. It's somebody that actually agrees with her. What he's trying to do is help her, assist her in her arguments, because her arguments are absolutely terrible. But Emma is such a spoiled, entitled brat. She is somebody who does not engage in any kind of beyond surface level thinking, that she freaks out even with this remote of a challenge, even with this person who's saying, I agree with your dumbass position, but you should learn to argue it a little better. Emma loses her mind. Look at the rage on her face. Look at how ridiculous she is in this particular clip. It's absolutely absurd from top to bottom. And again, you understand how when somebody's a brat like this, how when somebody's this ideologically motivated, she can feel comfortable attacking a girl with a traumatic brain injury as a consequence of the policies that Emma advocated for.
Payton McNabb was an all-star high school athlete, one of the best, preparing for a future in college sports. But when her girls' volleyball match was invaded by a male, he smashed the ball so hard in Payton's face, causing traumatic brain injury.
I don't give a shit about the scientific explanations. People, if they identify as a woman, get to compete in sports. If that's not fair in the short term for a variety of little competitions, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
Partially paralyzing her right side and ending her athletic career. It was...
If that's not fair in the short term for a variety of little competitions, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit.
And by the way, this is not the first time Emma has completely lost her mind over the trans issues. Remember, Anna Kasparian saying that she didn't want to be called a birthing person was enough for Emma Vigeland to backstab her former mentor and constantly attack her former network because they're so bad, they're so evil, they're so terrible, because Anna doesn't like this ridiculous language that, by the way, nobody in the United States of America likes. Again, insanity from top to bottom, but to make matters even worse, this is the same woman woman who was crying over Kamala Harris's loss. And the thing that aggravated her in particular was that there wasn't enough solidarity amongst women. The girls, they didn't vote for Kamala in the way that Emma thought they should, and that was really, really sad for her, really, really heartbreaking, and that's why we got this clip right here.
One thing I'll just get a little emotional about is it does, as a woman, feel pretty shitty. I feel like the humanity of women and their rights, no one cares. And even in the face of Trump and everything that he represented, that's a tough pill to swallow.
Could you imagine being Emma Vigeland, never having a real problem, never having a real struggle in your entire life, going to a private elementary school that costs more than top universities' tuition because your parents were absolutely loaded, and then demanding solidarity from women to vote the way that you want, while at the same time looking at a girl get injured, a 17-year-old junior in high school suffer a severe injury, and think it's funny because guess what? All is well in terms of the transes, and Emma doesn't give a damn. I mean, if this girl would have died, Emma would still be laughing at her. If this girl would have been even more injured or she would have been unable to speak, Emma would have enjoyed that more because, again, this is all about the acceptance of the transes. And the irony of this is that people are far less likely to accept the transes if you let them play these sports, if you let them injure little girls who are playing on the opposing team. And then you have dopey progressives like Emma who act like they're better than you, laughing at the pain of others, laughing at the traumatic brain injury, enjoying the suffering of this girl for no other reason than the fact that she was injured by a trans, and therefore she is a political enemy of Emma Vigeland.
One thing I'll just get a little emotional about is it does, as a woman, feel pretty shitty. I feel like the humanity of women and their rights.
But yeah, I mean, the white woman fake crying thing, I could do it too, but and then you just turn it off.
No one cares. And even in the face of Trump and everything that he represented, that's a tough pill to swallow.
This is derangement on a monstrous level, and rather than treat it like an isolated incident, it is important for you guys to understand that this is the belief system, this is the ideology of the people who want biological males to compete against females in sports. This is what they feel. If you get injured, sucks to be you, sad day for you. I hope you go curl up into a ball and die because it's hilarious, just like the trans thought it was hilarious after injuring Payton, and now Emma, years later, still thinks it's funny. Well, guess what? It's not funny, and we're fighting back against it. We are going to pass laws, we're going to cut off funding, we're going to do everything and anything in order to prevent this from happening, and people like you, Emma, being in the opposition is the greatest favor toward our side that we could possibly have. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you like this video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on my social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about Emma Vigeland laughing at an injury, a severe injury of a girl. Till next time.